Are you craving for something hearty? Then you will get here the full load of Indian soul food, Chole Bhature, an irresistible combo. Chole Bhature combines two tasty dishes, chole, a savory chickpea curry, and bhatura, freshly fried balloon bread. We started by soaking the chickpeas overnight. If you're cooking the dish in the evening, you can also soak them in the morning, but let them sit at least for 5 hours. Put the chickpeas with the soaking water into a pot and bring them to a boil. Then add a little baking soda to help dissolve the thick foam. After 2 to 3 minutes, I pour off all the water and rinse the chickpeas with fresh water. This extra step makes the chickpeas even more digestible. You may skip this step if you like. We also need a strong black tea. It gives the dish a darker color and a subtle flavor boost. Strong black teas like Assam or English breakfast work best. Turkish chai or silent tea should also work well. Please do not use Darjeeling because it's too mild. Now let's get started on the bhatura dough. First, we activate dry yeast by mixing it with water and sugar. We also soak semolina, which provides some stability after the bhaturas have puffed up. Put flour in a large bowl and make a hole in the middle. Now add salt, the soaked semolina, yogurt, oil and the yeast water. Knead the dough adding yeast water little by little. The dough should become nice and soft but not sticky. This way, a good amount of gluten is formed, which we need to make the bread elastic enough to rise like a balloon. The combination of gluten and moisture in the dough makes the bhatura rise nicely. When fried, water vapor forms and wants to escape, causing the dough to puff up. The gluten makes it happen without the dough cracking and the air escaping. Now lightly rub the surface of the dough with oil so it doesn't dry out. Cover it with a cloth and let it rise in a warm place. In the meantime, we can prepare the spice mixture for chole. You can get all the spices from TRS. Here we use black cardamom. It's larger than the green variety and is dried over an open fire, giving it a strong smoky flavor that goes well with chole. Have you heard of it? We make the dish a little spicier than usual. If you don't like it so spicy, you can replace the Kashmiri chili with paprika powder, because we will also use green chilies in the recipe. Especially the amchur, which is mango powder, is typical for this dish. Some use pomegranate peel powder as an alternative, which gives it a tart note. The finished powder has an orange-reddish color. We save half a teaspoon of it for later, the rest goes directly into the pressure cooker. First we brown onions, preferably red ones. Take your time for sauteing, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes. This helps the curry to develop a strong and rich flavor. Now add ginger garlic paste. You know this combination is very popular in many Indian dishes. That's why you can buy it ready-made from TRS, so you can save one preparation step. Opened, it can be stored in the refrigerator for several weeks. Now saute the green chilies and the spice mixture for 1 minute before adding the canned tomatoes. Tomato puree is even better if you have it. Saute everything until the masala base is very dark. This process is called bhuna in Hindi. It gives the gravy its rich flavor, so don't get impatient. Yes, this is what the base should look like. Next, you can add the black tea and the chickpeas. Of course, don't forget the salt. Cook the chole for 5 minutes on high pressure, followed by 15 minutes natural release. I even let the chickpeas sit in the residual heat for 1 hour so that they can take on more color. I mash a few chickpeas to thicken the sauce. Let simmer a bit to reduce the water if needed. The consistency should be thick enough to eat later with your bhatura. Now we can deep fry our bhatura. The batter is a tiny bit too soft for my taste, but better than if it was too firm. This would make the bhaturas hard. Divide them into about 50-gram balls and roll them out into thin patties. Meanwhile, let your oil get hot. When frying bhatura, 3 things are important: a big spoon, a wide and high pan, and a high frying temperature. Once the oil is hot, around 185 degrees, put the dough patty in and press it down gently a few times. Once it starts to puff up, baste it generously with oil. Due to the high temperature, the water starts to evaporate and the steam puffs up the bhatura. The wide pan and large spoon will help you to easily baste the bhatura with oil. Once the balloon bread is slightly colored, lift it out, let it drain, and then set it aside. Let's look at the process again. Don't worry if your bhaturas do not rise, they will still taste amazing. There's one more thing that we still need, the tadka for our chole. For this, fry fine strips of ginger and a few slit chilies in oil. As soon as it smells aromatic, turn off the heat and add the small amount of chole spice mixture that we had put aside. This is the crowning for our chole. Do not miss this taste experience, guys. Best to enjoy with your family and friends. This will be unforgettable for everyone. See how nice and bready the bhaturas are inside? Perfect for relishly picking up the hearty chickpeas. Have fun and see you next time. Bye!